Good morning, and welcome back to another remote edition of the Ram Report Morning Show. I'm your host, Cecilia Tabor, and we continue to bring you the best news that Hightstown has to offer during our time apart. First off, we have John Schell with a new story on what's to come for the class of 2020. This week, Governor Murphy announced that in-person graduations are an option, but with what restrictions? Let's find out.
With June approaching, schools across the state have scrambled to put together virtual graduation ceremonies for the senior class of 2020. But in a surprise announcement on Tuesday, Governor Phil Murphy ruled that beginning July 6th, New Jersey high schools are allowed to have an outdoor graduation ceremony. With this news, some schools, such as Raritan High School, have postponed graduation dates to allow seniors to take part in an outdoor celebration. Guidelines would be put in place, such as maintaining distance of at least 6 feet from others, face coverings for guests and graduates, and a limited length of the ceremony. Obviously, the governor's announcement has created a lot of debate amongst Hightstown seniors. We still don't know whether Hightstown is postponing the senior graduation until July, but we are expecting an update from Mr. Vincent soon. For the Ram Report, I'm John Schell. Back to you, Cecilia.
Even though graduation may still be up in the air for the class of 2020, they still had to pick up their caps and gowns this week. We had Brandon Sagbo get the inside scoop on the event at the high school.
This week, the Hightstown class of 2020 drove over to the high school to pick up their caps and gowns. For many, this was the first time they had been back to the school since March 16th. Staff were eager to spread a little bit of cheer, and seniors Amy Salish, Liza Salish, and Cecilia Tabor even painted a banner for decoration. HHS staff set up right outside the annex and distributed the robes to the seniors drive-through style.
So we really were hoping that we would be able to see all of our seniors under normal circumstances, but today it was really great to see all the smiling faces and be able to hand you your caps and gowns.
Many students were happy that they finally got to have a symbol of their senior year and accomplishments, with all events either being canceled or virtual up until this point.
It felt great going back to the high school, I truly missed being able to see my fellow teachers and even some of my fellow peers who were waiting in line with me while I was in my automobile. And in terms of having my own cap and gown, it really feels like I'm starting to get that sense of closure that I've been yearning for towards the end of the year. I feel like that's what we've missed out on as a senior class, but hopefully we could get that.
Getting the cap and gown and coming home and trying it on definitely brought me to a realization that this is really happening. I feel like the past 4 years just really moved by quickly.
It was definitely great to see that despite this pandemic, the teachers are still doing everything they can for our farewell from the school to be as good as it can be. I'm Brandon Sagbo, reporter for the Ram Report. Back to you.
Lastly, we follow up on the trick shot segment that Ram reporter Spencer Cohen reported on a few weeks ago. Some of you sent us in submissions taking on the challenge, and Justin Sabagol is here to reflect on them. Let's see how you guys took this challenge on, Rams.
Welcome back to Ram Report Trick Shots, your source of entertainment during quarantine. Just a few weeks ago, Spencer Cohen attempted and completed his trick shot, encouraging others at home to do the same. Today, we're going to rate some of our favorites. Let's start with Rams senior Jonathan Drews. As summer becomes hotter and hotter, Jonathan's trick shot adds much needed ice to his cup of water. We give it a 4 out of 5 Rams. Tyler went with the basic tennis ball and trash can trick shot and pulled it off perfectly. However, there are not many style points to be given here, with this trick shot earning a 3 out of 5 Rams. Brandon walked up to his dartboard and boy, he did not disappoint. The backward bullseye deserves a 5 out of 5 Rams. Mr. Bucci and his son teamed up for a great trick shot, flinging the frog triumphantly into the bucket of water. Plus, more style points for the great head nod at the end. This deserves a 5 out of 5 Rams. Of course, I too needed to get a part of the action. Thank you for tuning in to the Ram Report Trick Shots. I'm Justin Sabgal. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Justin, and thank you to all of you who participated in this challenge and took us on. That marks the end of another remote Ram Report morning show. As always, we're in this together and we will get through this together. I'm your host, Cecilia Tabor, and I hope that you all have a ramtastic day.